feels bullish, usually crashes follow shortly after.
Amen.
The levels I'm watching are, first of all, that 17,600.
If you're listening to the sound of my voice, that can mean only one thing, and that's that you are in the market pulse, baby. Let's do it. The merge has shipped.
Come on, baby.
Yeah.
Come on now.
That is the date that the Federal Reserve will be making their Fed rate decision.
Well, gee, Tim, I would love to do that. I think we're still going to see projects like Bored Ape Yacht Clubs or things like that still exist. The answer is 1,000 Dogecoin.
Oh.
What is going on, everybody? Welcome to the Coffee and Crypto live show. We come to you live every single weekday morning at 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, and I'm super excited for this video. Big news coming from Google, who is partnering with Coinbase to allow you to now make purchases on the cloud using crypto. This is massive. Just months ago, we were talking about, is Coinbase going down? And now they have two massive partnerships with BlackRock and with Google. This could be huge for Coinbase and huge for crypto. We're going to be discussing that in the market pulse section. But also, when we're looking at the charts right now, the two big ones that I want to focus on in this show is going to be Bitcoin and Cardano. Yes, they are down, but there's a lot of support and a lot of reasons on the chart that show that a potential rally is still possible within the next couple of days. We are waiting on those CPI numbers on Thursday, but can we be seeing a rally, or is this the beginning of a crash taking us down to new lows? We're going to be discussing that not only with our technical analysis, but Frankie Candles is joining the show today. So make sure you stay tuned for the entire episode of Coffee and Crypto because it's going to be a good one. Go ahead and smash that like button and subscribe to the channel if you are excited about this show. I have two fantastic co-hosts with me this morning. I got T-Shroom over here to my right. How you doing, T-Shroom?
Oh, so much better than I deserved, Tim.
Ooh, I love it. I love it. I love it.
So much enthusiasm.
Man, as we're talking about it right now, Bitcoin is dipping. We're going to talk about that here in just a couple of minutes. But Smay, how are you doing this morning?
Oh, gee, I'm doing fantastic. I got my coffee, black coffee as usual. I love iced black coffee. I don't do that frilly sugar and cream stuff. It's a bunch of nonsense, guys. It's a bunch of nonsense. But also what I like to do is I'd like to wake up, I like to read, and I want to just say that this is not sponsored by Kindle, but Kindle is the best device ever made. Shout out to Kindle and Amazon. Back to you, Tim.
Boom. Real quickly, before we jump in and do our green names, because we are going to do those in just a second, go to my screen here, Smay. Bitcoin, literally, as we were talking, has dropped below 19,000, heading back down, hitting this level of support. We're going to talk about more in the technical analysis section, but wanted to make sure that I covered this, because I know a lot of you guys, while you watch the show, are looking at the charts. So, a bearish sign already, but there are some more details on the charts that we will cover. There still is potential chance of bullishness. Obviously, though, there is still a chance that we go ahead and dip down, but we'll cover that in a little bit. We'll keep you guys up to date. Smay, why don't we go ahead and do the favorite part of the entire show and do the reading of the green names, and I want you to guess, this will be really simple, we'll move it along, reading the green names, which one of them are right-handed and which one of them are left-handed.
Oh, this will be great. All right, let's go ahead and dive right on into it. We have some green names here. We got JoJo, Mike Lowry, I forgot the name, the hand.
Yeah, you got to give me left-handed, right-handed.
All right, so Mike Lowry's right-handed, JoJo's right-handed, Justin Eubanks is right-handed, GS is right-handed, Grand Roof Incorporated is right-handed, Mike Lowry's right-handed, let's see, Mike Markle's right-handed, Amela Fellow's right-handed, Grand Roof Incorporated is right-handed, let's see here, the Coin Father is in fact right-handed, GS, I already said that. Let's see, Crypto Ben Franklin is right-handed, Mitch Shaw is right-handed, Win Peoples is right-handed, Crypto Minibike is right-handed, Brad Geidel is right-handed, and Green Names is right-handed, and let's see here, Daniel J's right-handed, and let's see some more. That's all I'm seeing, but guys, that's just the statistics of it. Pretty much everyone's right-handed except for like.
Yeah, you're saying that lefties don't watch our show and don't join our membership.
Well, that's not. I didn't say all of our green names, did I?
Well, I mean, you didn't think that a single one of those
because
ones
not everyone's chatted.
I think GS is saying that she's left. She says sorry, Smay, so she's not saying it that
Here's
she's
the thing.
left-handed, but I'm assuming that's what that means.
She's lying to be a contrarian because I guessed it correctly. It is, in fact, GS, I know it. She's right-handed. In fact, actually, here's what I will say. I think, and Daniel J spoiled it, I actually
Crypto Ben Franklin's a lefty.
GS is ambidextrous. Oh my gosh! It just came through! Look at the chat! I just said it! I just said it, and as soon as I said it, it popped up in the chat. That's right. GS is ambidextrous. I told you.
We are on fire today, ladies and gentlemen.
My guessing
Coffee
is
and crypto.
superb, Tim. My guessing is superb. And anyways, back to you.
Okay, go ahead, chat. Go ahead and put in, even if you're not a green name, are you right-handed? Are you left-handed? Are you ambidextrous? I want to see what is going on there. Maybe even put a poll. Put a poll in chat with those 3 options. I want to see what our demographic looks like. That's hard to recover from. We're about to jump into our market pulse to break down the news of what is happening in crypto today. But first, we got to give you the sponsor of today's market pulse, and I'm super excited to let you guys know that we have partnered with MEXC, a phenomenal exchange that especially is targeted for our non-US citizens who are looking for a place to have security in their exchange, but also have some good fees there. The other thing I found out, and I didn't realize this, MEXC is one of the exchanges that you do not have to have KYC. You can use KYC, and I think that opens up some more options, but there are several coins over on MEXC that you can purchase not doing KYC, and those of you who have had to go through that process know how frustrating it can be, along with the concept of I thought the crypto is supposed to be decentralized in the first place, and that there was the whole concept is so that we're not being checked up on. Either way, MEXC is phenomenal. It was voted the #1 exchange in Asia. So if you do not have an exchange, or if you're looking for a better exchange to be purchasing your crypto, check out MEXC today. There's a link in the description down below. Thank you to them for sponsoring this session of our episode. T-Shroom, go ahead and take it away into the market pulse.
Ladies and gentlemen, if you're listening to the sound of my voice, that can mean only one thing, and that's that you are in the market pulse, baby. Let's start off on the Fear and Greed Index. If you go to my screen, we're clocking in at extreme fear still. 24, and it is extreme fear. Everything okay over there, Smay?
Well, it's really not as bad as the reaction may have led you to believe. I just accidentally ran my name tag again.
Okay. Well, I'm at T-Shroom. And so that's the extreme fear. We're going to skip ahead here. I would be remiss if I didn't remind you all that on Thursday, the 13th at 8:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, we're getting our inflation prints for the United States. Core inflation and headline inflation forecast for core is 6.5 and headline is 8.1. We're going to move on. 75 basis points is almost a certainty at this point, with the CME future tool predicting 84% likelihood of a 75 basis point hike. 15% says 50 basis point hike. Moving on to the stories. Today we got a breaking news story. Google partners with Coinbase to accept crypto payment for cloud services. This is pretty big, folks. This could be a potential big catalyst here. Google's a very large corporation. Alphabet is their parent company. Announced Tuesday on Google's Cloud Next conference, the tech giant said it will receive crypto payment via an integration with the crypto exchange Coinbase. So Coinbase getting a big partnership there, but obviously the bigger story here is crypto in general partnering with Google there. So we want to make building in Web3 faster and easier, and this partnership with Coinbase helps developers get one step closer to that goal, said Thomas Curran, CEO of Google Cloud. Wow, so that's an interesting way that they structure over there. Brian Armstrong, co-founder of CEO of Coinbase, added, "We could not ask for a better partner to help execute our vision of building a trusted bridge into the Web3 ecosystem." Shares of Coinbase were up 5% at $70.70 during pre-market trading. I believe they have given up those gains, unfortunately, as the larger market has shifted down, as Tim will talk about more with Bitcoin, but also the SPY is down considerably this morning as well. We'll go ahead and move on, but that's a big story, right? I mean, Tim, did you have anything to say about this?
No, I think it is going to be interesting again with Coinbase. Recent deals they made with BlackRock, and now they're making one with Google. Again, speculation a couple months ago was, is Coinbase potentially heading towards insolvency? Like that was, I don't think it had really gotten its teeth, but there were definitely people moving that direction. A lot of people were saying there's going to be another major exchange that falls, just like what we saw happen with Celsius. Is Coinbase potentially it? And this is the second massive move that is all but saying, no, Coinbase is not just that. But I think you're about to talk about another story. Coinbase went from being on the brink of, can we trust Coinbase that it's going to be around and it's going to not lose my money, to, is Coinbase headed back to being, if not one of the top exchange out there? They're competing with Binance on a couple different things. And I know I don't want to spoil it because that's the next story. But my take overall is this is a bullish move for crypto. I don't know if this is a bullish move necessarily for decentralization. I think, when you're looking at things, first of all, in the crypto space as well, Google has not been crypto friendly. Those who have been watching YouTube channels for a long time, and I've listened to some of the other influencers, Google has worked very actively to silence and censor crypto YouTube influencers, or or any type of influencer on any space with crypto because they do not want it to overshadow what they're doing. They're jumping into this space now, but did they just become our best friends, or they realize blockchain and crypto is the future, and now they have been holding off everybody else so they can get a bigger piece of the pie? Again, is it good for the decentralization of crypto? I don't know. I'm going to hold off on giving an answer on that one, but I do think it's bullish for price action of crypto long term.
Yeah, I would disagree generally with one of your statements that I think it's not. This is not a flag of centralization. I think Google Cloud is just using Coinbase as like a payment tool, so you can pay for Google Cloud services in whatever crypto you want. So I don't think that that's not altering the blockchain at all. So, but it could be. There could be an argument for this being a movement away from decentralization towards centralization. But we'll go ahead and move on. Obviously, that's a pretty big story. We're excited about that. Going to be talking about that more in the days and weeks to come. But we'll move on. An international story here back on my screen. A record number of Brazilian companies bought crypto in August. So, and don't get too crazy. The total number is not that high, but the percentage increase annually is very big. So for the first time in a single month, more than 12,000 Brazilian companies made crypto purchases in August. The South American country's tax authority, Receita Federal, has reported. Receita Federal added that Brazilian companies collectively hold 10 billion Brazilian reals in crypto, roughly equivalent to 2.1 billion, which is a much smaller number than we're going to need to see, going forward. But hey, that's an excellent increase. So, that's 5 times bigger than in 2019. This sentence says. So that's really, really good coming out of Brazil news. Moving on, U.S. crypto exchange Coinbase beats out Binance, landing regulatory approval in Singapore. So Coinbase really getting the 1-2 punch in the crypto news media today. As they kind of pull ahead of Binance there in Singapore. The in-principle approval will allow them to offer regulated digital payments, tokens, products, and services regulated under Singapore's Payment Service Act. The news comes after Coinbase's first launch a tech hub in the Southeast Asian country in November of 2021. The firm currently has around 100 employees in the country, mostly comprised of product engineers, which makes sense. So, two big stories for Coinbase so far. And Wall Street Journal's letting me have a demo of one of their pages here. So I thought, hey, when in Rome, you might as well. So America's oldest bank, BNY Lemon, will hold crypto now. So pretty interesting there. BNY Mellon. Did I say lemon?
You, in fact, said lemon.
Sorry about that, guys. BNY Mellon won approval of New York's financial regulator earlier this fall to begin receiving select customers Bitcoin and Ether starting this week. The bank will store the keys required to access and transfer those assets and provide the same bookkeeping services on those digital currencies that it offers to fund managers for their portfolios of stocks, bonds, commodities, and other assets. This is a very, very important paragraph right here, guys. This is adoption on steroids. This is a demo of a major fiduciary custodian stepping in and making a big play here in crypto. So that is a big adoption story for sure. Founded by Alexander Hamilton more than 2 centuries ago, BNY Mellon, not Lemon, is the world's biggest custody bank. Like I said, yeah, so very, very big here. BNY Mellon said it is the first of the 8 systemically important U.S. banks to store digital currency and allow customers to use one custody platform for both its traditional and crypto holdings. And you can see there, Hamilton is officially woke. That Alexander Hamilton we all know and love. Tim, that's going to wrap up our market pulse. I've been T Shroom. You can find me on Twitter and Instagram at T Shroom. Please share this video with somebody who you think would benefit, and keep on hodling out there.
Boom. Great job, T. Shroom. I loved it. We'll see about the Google thing. You make a good point about it not changing the blockchain. I'm talking about the concept of Google and Coinbase in general getting a relationship. There's been a lot of speculation out there. We're not about to jump into the crazies and put on the tinfoil hat. Some call it the tinfoil hat at this point in this channel. But we're not going to give the tinfoil hat of what exchanges, some of these powerful exchanges are doing. There's been a lot of speculation about what old Sam Bankman-Fried is doing over there with FTX. Same thing with Coinbase, and I almost said Ben Armstrong. That would have been massive misinformation. I would have been fined by PayPal for saying that Ben Armstrong owned Coinbase.
Nice.
Brian Armstrong over at Coinbase. What is his target? What is he doing? Are these forces for good or are these forces for evil? We will have to see how that one plays out. I'm not going to speculate. I would love to know in chat, what do you guys think? If you guys love this relationship with Google for price action, let me know. But also, do you think that this is good for even the decentralization? Do you think it's bad for it, good for it, or neutral? Let us know in chat. We're about to jump in here and do some technical analysis before Frankie comes on, and I really want to see what Frankie has to say about this. Let's start out here on the Dixie. Smay, you can go to my screen here. We've been dabbling and talking about these levels, and I actually saw an episode of Frankie Candle's live show. By the way, if you don't follow Frankie Candle's, make sure you do that. We'll remind you later on in the show, too. But he was talking about this exact same thing that I was, so I'm glad, we'll at least have one thing in common today. We're watching this golden pocket and potentially saying, all right, does the Dixie reject right here around 112 or just below 113, or will we make it all the way up to the 0.786 level around 113.66? Either way, there are some things to look at here on the Dixie. You're going to see the exact opposite. Is the RSI massively overextended? No, it is not. However, it is towards the top side, and you got to keep your eye on that. What I'm looking at right here is the Lux oscillator that is flashing overextended to the upside. When you see this red cloud come in here at the bottom, that is flashing overbought right now. So it will be interesting. This does not mean it stops. You guys can see over here back, the red cloud started to form and get significant, even though we had a little ways to still go to the upside. So this does not mean we have to reject right now, but what it means is more likely than not, we do have a rejection coming soon that the Dixie should come to the downside. Now, of course, why are we looking at the Dixie? Because more often than not, the Dixie is inversely correlated with Bitcoin. Let's go take a look at Bitcoin and let's look at Cardano. Now, here's the bearish thing I will start with on Bitcoin is that we now, after several times of testing support levels, this ascending ascending triangle, we have broken below it. That is not a good sign for this formation to play out. I'm going to leave it here because every now and then you do have fake outs that pop back into the formations. But I will say for the bears out there, this was a good push for the bears to be able to get the price below this ascending level of support. But what came down? This is why I'm not necessarily too convinced that this bearish momentum is a done deal and we're setting new lows. This zone right here, if I were to zoom out to the daily chart, has been significant for a while. We've had several candle bodies close at the top level of this zone of support. We've also have had the wicks that come all the way down to the bottom. So this zone is representing anywhere between just below $19,000 all the way down to $17,600. As you can see, we're looking at this price action. We have been down in this zone before and found support. In fact, the most significant zone in this area more than likely is around the 18,500. So until we see an 18,500 or lower price, I still am looking at us setting higher lows in this little tertiary trend we're working out. And if this were to hold and if we can bounce back into this formation, I'm still looking at a potential $22,000 price on Bitcoin by extrapolating the breakout point of this triangle, move it up here, and there you go. You get 22,000, actually almost pushing more towards 23,000. That would be massively bullish, but we will have to see what happens. I think a lot of traders at this point and investors are looking at those CPI numbers being released Thursday morning, and they're going to wait. More often than not, I think what you're going to see is a ranging price action for the next, what would that be? A little under 48 hours at this point for those CPI numbers. But in case you were wondering, we talked with this Kelly last week, and if you go and look at any on-chain data, whales and smart money are still looking to move their money off of exchanges. So a lot of people out there are going to hate on this. A lot of people are going to say, Tim, you keep calling for bullish. I'm going to stick to my guns, and I'm going to continue to watch the charts, and I'm going to continue to see what I see and make calls the way I'm going to invest. If you disagree, or if you think, man, I can actually make some great trades off of Tim inversely, and whatever Tim says to do, I do the opposite, good for you. I mean, then I'm being very helpful to you, and that's up to you. Every single person should have control over their trading and investing themselves. I've never said that people just look at what I'm doing and just copy it. What I'm saying is I'm showing you guys what I'm looking at in the market, and if you guys agree and if you are supporting it, then maybe you should make the same decision. Going down to the 4-hourly chart, we are looking at not only this key level of support we bounced off and now we're heading back up, but look at our oscillators down here. We are overextended on the RSI. Out on the daily chart, we're still, the last significant signal that we got was a bullish RSI divergence. We have not set up daily bearish RSI divergence to cancel it out. So with that saying, moving on to the 4-hourly chart, RSI is flashing oversold. The oscillator on Lux Algo is flashing oversold. If I pulled up Lux Algo with our contrarian indicator, which you guys know I love, we came down and touched take profit on the last sell order, and I am expecting here, if the price holds up to these levels, I would be very surprised if we don't see a buy signal on this very, very soon. But let me know down in the comments and in chat, what do you guys think about Bitcoin? Do you think that we are heading down, or do you think these support levels that we're touching are just the bottom of the support and a spring is coming very, very soon? Speaking of springs, let's go over and talk about Cardano. This is one that I probably have received the most hate from, the most pushback from, and I love it. I love when people disagree, and I love when people give their opinions, because that means they're thinking for themselves. Here's what I will say and why I'm not going to change my mind. I talked about this yesterday, how we have a very, very low on this Lux oscillator. We also had a buy signal flash here yesterday. Now, yes, we're way lower than where this buy signal flashed, but if you go back and look, most of the times with this contrarian view, I told you guys, it's the algorithm looking for so much bearish pressure in the space that it would be a very opportune time to fight against that bearish pressure. And more often than not, sometimes it touches the candle, it hits the bottom, but usually when you see this buy flash, you're waiting for a couple of candles and then the signal flashes one way or another. Rarely do we get a buy signal on contrarian and not have the candles reversed very soon after. We have taken and come down past this stop loss here, but again, I'm waiting for potentially another buy signal or this just to respond. If I take Lux Algo off, though, if I were to not even look at the signals and just be looking right here, I drew this angle, I drew this falling wedge pattern here a very long time ago, all the way back, probably on this confirmation back in September on the 18th. Look at what we're currently doing. Yes, we had our wick come down here and technically actually go below where our wick was back in May. I'll cover more of that here in just a second. But look at currently in this 4-hourly chart, we are ranging in that zone that we put there. Why is that zone there? Let me take down my RSI and zoom out so you guys can get a better look. We have several candle body closes at that top level. So I attached the candle body closes, but I also then went and attached the wicks. And right now we are working inside of the difference between the wicks and the candle body closes. And right now this still supports a healthy spot for Cardano to rally and find support. Last thing I'm going to show you here on Cardano in the shorter time frame before I zoom out, look at this volume right here. Look at the peak in volume when we dipped back in May. Look at the peak of volume as we came back down. Even though it's not necessarily too significant, look at the peak of volume we had during this dip. We had a little bit of volume during this dip. There has been no volume that came into this dip. Also, this is a descending triangle, but again, we're flashing massively oversold. We were not flashing massively oversold at these other dips. This one is different, and it reminds me of something. And I'm not saying for certain we have to just copy what something has done in the past, but do you guys remember last summer on Bitcoin when everyone was calling for $20,000 on Bitcoin after the Elon Musk dump? This is back in July. Look at what we have going on right here. Descending triangle. We have a low volume spring happening right here. And guess why people were calling for 20,000? Because this triangle right here, if you were to move it to the breakout point and come on over, this is why people were predicting $20,000, because they saw the descending triangle. But what they rejected and what they did not look at is the Wyckoff teaching of how these phases where they move sideways, a lot of times what's happening, and you get this flat bottom, is it's actually the whales and smart money buyers knowing this is a good price action, but we can shake out retail investors and look for a good opportunity to buy. What you're going to do is constantly come down to these low levels and then drop below with a low volume spring that then is ascending back to the upside with high volume. So right now, what we're looking at on Cardano is, I'm not necessarily saying we have to copy that perfectly, but watch over the next couple of days. Where are we? Because I zoomed back, it messed with me. Watch over the next couple of days. Can we get some bullish momentum? And then potentially in a couple of days, do we get some volume coming into the space, confirming that smart money loves these prices? And this is not only short term, these prices came back down to that dip we had back in May, which makes this a phenomenal buying opportunity for Cardano in the short term. Let's go out and look at why this is actually good for the long term. Look right there on the screen. You guys see where that red dot is? That is the current price of Bitcoin. And tell me what you guys see back here in January of 2021. This was former resistance during the bull market of late 2020 to 2021. This is a very key point where a lot of smart money, a lot of whales got into the space, and we are currently sitting right at it. Yes, we theoretically could come down and be touching the 34-cent to 30-cent levels, and that would still be an explanation, but watch the significance of this former resistance now turn into support play out. Again, I'm not saying it's impossible for Cardano to crash, but what I'm saying is anyone who is looking at what we should be looking at and looking at these oscillators, looking at the RSI, looking at the divergences, looking at how overextended and oversold this is, I'll tell you this right now, I have no problem being wrong and making a buy or a trade on this chart, because I know long term It is not often that you see this oversold on all of these smaller charts, and yet you still have a bad prediction. To me, this is this is one of the most sure signs of this entire Cardano bear market that I've been, that a rally should be coming very soon. And if I'm wrong, I will be wrong this time and then right the other 9 out of 10 times on this chart. Let me know what you guys think down in the comments. Let's look at a couple other coins that I'm exploring here. XRP has been a big one over the last couple of weeks here. Now, this is one that I will have to say, as bullish as it was going, and I'm still bullish on XRP long term, this one last night is starting to play out what I was talking about. Look at the oscillators that we have here on XRP. Instead of being at the bottom like we're seeing with Bitcoin and with Cardano, we actually got to being overextended. And I remember actually someone tweeted at me yesterday. In fact, you guys can tweet at me. I try to respond to all the tweets that come at my way, at Tims_TA. But they asked, what's your thoughts about XRP? And I was looking at this chart and saying, hey, I think it's time to take some profit on XRP. Sure enough, we started to flip to the downside on this 4-hourly chart. You guys see that red cloud saying we were overbought at the moment. The good news is we do have some support on XRP, so it's going to be really important. Can we hold this continual uptrending level of support? The fact that the RSI and the Lux Algo oscillator has dropped so very quickly, to me, is a chance that XRP has another upswing before a harsher correction. Let's look at the Lux Algo indicator as well and see what we have here. Very interesting. So that sell signal almost perfectly called the top. Again, this is contrarian in the presets. This is not the basic version. And we had a buy signal come here a couple of hours ago. And again, I told you that sometimes it takes a couple more candles. But that is interesting. As we get closer to this level of support, as we get closer to being, the RSI and the oscillators are dropping, the fact that buy order came in, I think there's a chance we still drop a little more. But potentially, maybe even XRP is about to have another rally. And it would make sense, honestly, with how much XRP was suppressed over the last couple of years due to the SEC lawsuit. I think you're seeing people come out of the woodworks. It's also going to be interesting. This is the last thing I'll say, and then I'll ask T-Shroom if he has any thoughts, because I know he looks at the oil chart a lot more than me. The last thing I'll say is, obviously, there was that beef over there on Twitter between Charles Hoskinson and the XRP community, and I think it's really sad because Charles, he is a supporter of XRP in that lawsuit. He does believe that XRP should be justly deemed that they are not a security, but because he made one negative comment about in fact, I think he said something positive about Ethereum against XRP, the entire XRP community is going against him. And I think that, I'm not going to take a side here. I love both XRP and Cardano, and I think many of you do as well. This is just something, if you are somebody who has chosen one of these coins, either XRP or Cardano, do not poop on the other. Both these coins are looking to serve a purpose that this world needs very, very badly, and that is helping bank the unbanked. Now, a lot of people have called XRP the banker's coin. I used to be a part of that group. I used to think that XRP, because it works with banks, is actually a very evil cryptocurrency. It's actually working with all these banks to ruin. And I found out later, no. XRP is specifically working so that smaller banks can compete with larger banks. So whereas Cardano is going to the places where there aren't even any banks whatsoever to help bank the unbanked, XRP is working to level the playing field and push down the buying pressure and the amount of power that these massive banks had. For that reason, I'm very bullish, not only on the price action futurely of Cardano and XRP, but I'm very bullish on the fundamentals and what these two projects are trying to achieve. And in all reality, it's really sad to see the communities potentially be clashing when they really should be working together because they have a lot of mutual interest. That's my take on what's happening with XRP and Cardano and Bitcoin. Let me know what you think in the chat, and let me know in the comments down below if you're watching this after we're finished live. T-Shroom, do you have any thoughts about any of that, or do you see anything interesting happening on the oil charts this morning?
I do, and I wasn't expecting you to throw it over to me for the oil charts, but if you go to my screen smat, I've got something cooked up for you here. This is a long-term view. This is the 3-day chart going back to this low back in April of 2020. That's when the oil markets went to zero technically, but look at this rampage that oil has been on as demand kickback. This is a leveraged ETF, so take this for what it is. I should not have done the leveraged ETF, but this is generally the oil price here, and then it comes back down, and this is where we are right now. You can see on the back on the different time scale on the 1 hour, you can see that it just tried to flip this downtrend into new support. It tried to flip the resistance into new support, and it failed. And it failed very significantly, as you can see here. It's broken through quite a bit, and so that's going to be pretty bearish for oil, which is a good thing for the October print inflation print, right? Because right now the price has come back quite a bit, and that's made running your economy more expensive because economies run on energy, and oil is is energy. So the October print, which will be in November, could potentially be much higher than the print we're about to get on the 13th because of the price of oil coming up. But if the rest of the month of October could run off September's prices of oil, that could potentially be beneficial. Again, all of this matters only really to crypto because of its implications on inflation.
Yeah. Awesome. We're about to bring Frankie on real quickly. I saw a question in chat. I've seen many people asking about quant. So Frankie, I know you're there. Give me just 1 second. We're going to bring you in here. A lot of people have been asking about quant, and I want to show you guys really quickly. Quant is one that has had a phenomenal last couple of months. It's another one that I'm looking at is overextended. There was a sell order, which, by the way, it beat that sell order, but it was not necessarily overextended on oscillators. Check out what we see right now on this daily chart. We have set up some bearish RSI divergence where technically these RSI peaks are going down, but at the same time, the prices have gone up. Also, we're overextended on that Lux Algo oscillator. So this is one I am not as bullish over the next couple of days and weeks on quant as I am on Cardano and Bitcoin. I will say I will look more into the fundamentals on quant, though, because they have had a phenomenal last couple of months. And sometimes these coins are showing these early explosions because they're going to be some big movers in the next bull market. But I will have to look into that more before I can make a definitive statement. But I hope anyone who out there who loves quant, I hope you guys enjoy that. And I know you guys don't want me to say that is what it is, but potentially look for a good buying opportunity coming soon with a dip. That being said, you can go off my screen now, Smay. We are joined by the absolutely phenomenal Frankie Candles. How are you doing, my friend? I am so glad you were here on the show.
Tim, what is going on, man? Thank you for having me. Happy to be here, brother. I love coming on this show, man. You guys are awesome.
Oh, dude, you guys are awesome. I try to watch as many of your guys' episodes. That's not I spend a lot of time with my wife late at night, but every now and then, like she's doing something, like, oh, I can go jump in on Frankie Candle's live stream. Phenomenal stuff. I love getting to watch you there. Before we get into this meat, though, because I got a lot of questions for you and the charts and what you're seeing. We'll see. Are we aligned? Are we different today? We have to start with the question of the day. And it is a doozy, and I think it has a little bit of a backstory before we get into it. But T-Shroom, what is our question of the day?
That's right. There's a little bit of meat to this question of the day. There's a breaking story. A couple mistakenly paid, if you go to my screen, Smay, a couple mistakenly paid $10.5 million by Crypto.com defend spending spree as contest winnings. So that's the headline. So, but what happened? So they're standing trial in Australia on charges of theft, the couple that received the $10 million by error. After receiving a push notification, one of the recipients told the court he thought he had won money in a contest. And in the spending spree part of it all, the court heard that the pair allegedly bought 4 houses with the money, while $4 million was sent to a Malaysian bank account, and the rest of the money was spent on gift, cars, art, and furniture. Typical stuff you'd buy if you randomly got $10 million. Although most of the funds had been paid back, $3 million still remains unaccounted for. So our question of the day, and Smay, you can leave my screen and let me know when you have.
I've left your screen.
The question of the day is as follows.
Okay.
What would you do if Crypto.com dropped $10 million into your wallet? And I'm going to throw it to Tim first.
Well, yeah, so we got a stipulation here. Our options we have is A, we can just give it back because we want to avoid. Hold on, we can give it back so we don't have to go into the lawsuit, right? Option B, we get to keep it, and then option B then opens up what do we do with the money, right?
Yeah.
Those are options?
Yes.
For sure. Or maybe some percentage.
There's several different options.
Yeah. So, Tim, go ahead.
There is so much in me that wants to say that I would keep this money. So much. I don't know if I want to deal with the lawsuit that would come. I don't know if I want to do. I'm going to have to give a very boring answer and say I'll send it back.
Okay.
I'm sorry. I know it. Smace is going to be way better than mine, but I want to hear what Frankie has to say.
Yeah,
Frankie, what would you do
let's
with
hear
this
Frankie over
scenario?
here.
Yeah, listen, that's an interesting one. My gut feeling, I feel the same way. I don't really want to deal with a lawsuit. I also kind of, I don't want money that's not mine.
Yeah.
But I'll just give a different answer. Although I wouldn't want to deal with a lawsuit, and I don't really like taking stuff that's not mine. I would take it and I would just give it all away. I would just go around and give people, random stuff. That would be super fun because it's not really any money out of my pocket. And then if you don't keep it, you don't have to feel guilty, right? So if you take it and give it away, you won't have to feel guilty. So I'll go with that one.
Yeah. Okay. Smay, what you got?
All right. So this is Smay's master plan here. What Smay is going to do is Smay is going to invest it into some kind of asset that I can trust is going to give me some kind of a return. Because here's the fact of the matter. $10 million, right? It doesn't take much price movement to get a good, healthy, free paycheck, right? So all I have to do is invest that $10 million into something and just wait for just make a little trade, just a little trade. But $10 million, a little trade could be a lot of money that I otherwise didn't have. So then what I'm going to do is I'm going to take that profit, take the principal out, and give them the principal back. Say, oh, sorry guys, I know it was a misunderstanding. Here's your $10 million back, and then I'm going to take my $10,000 or something like that, and put it in my pocket, free $10,000. Boom. So that's my plan.
All right, so T-Shroom's answer. If you'll go to my screen, Smay, here's what I would do. So this is the freshly named Crypto.com arena in Los Angeles.
Yes.
Here's what I would do.
Yep.
I would go to Tom's Watch House Bar, which is right across the street. I would buy Tom's Watch House Bar with the $10 million, and then I would paint a very awesome sign on the outside that tells the story of how Crypto.com accidentally sent me $10 million, and then it would just have a link to my Instagram and Twitter and Coffee and Crypto. And that was my story. That's what I would do.
T-Shroom, that was lame. That was
wow.
lame.
I thought it was pretty cool.
Liz, Smay, I thought we were working on anti-bullying on this show.
Sorry. Well, it just came out of me. It was like the urge to throw up. You know what I mean? I was
Wow.
like, oh, that's bad.
You know what
Was
that's
that
called?
bad?
That's called an impulse, and you got to work on rejecting your impulses.
Impulse
there.
control.
Yeah. You know.
Well, will this show be the same if I got a better handle on my impulse control?
That's true.
Exactly.
That's true.
At what cost? You know, at what cost?
At
That's
what
our
cost?
question of the day, folks.
Well, okay.
What did the chat say?
No, we're gonna move on. We're gonna move on here. Get back.
You don't wanna
into
spend 10
some
minutes on
crypto.
this?
We're not gonna
I'm
spend 10
kidding,
minutes on the
I'm
question of the day.
All right,
Smay
let's
had
move.
the big brain move for sure.
Yeah,
That's
I exactly
knew,
right.
I knew Smay was going to have the best answer. That's just, someday, and the last thing I'll say here, I would love for us to donate Smay's brain to science and find out what's going on in there.
What?
It would be phenomenal. And I say that because the company owns Smay's brain, I guess.
Oh, yeah, I was about to say, what does that mean?
Anyway, we're going to jump back onto the charts here with Frankie, but really quickly, shout out to our sponsor of our discussion section today, and that is I Trust Capital. You guys have heard of them. If you are not already investing with them, and what I mean by that is getting a Roth IRA in crypto with them, you are missing out. Everybody wonders, everybody asks the question daily, how can I either A, not give the government a lot of taxes, or B, can I avoid paying them taxes altogether? Well, a Roth IRA in crypto is the way to do it, and I Trust Capital is phenomenal at setting that up. So make sure, with the link down below, go set up an account today with I Trust Capital, prepare for your future, and keep from giving money to Uncle Sam. Keep that in your pocket for whether it be you, your children, your grandchildren, whatever it is. Prepare for the future with I Trust Capital today. Now, Frankie, I have a question for you. I want to see what you're looking at in the charts right now. I started this morning when I did my technical analysis. I looked at the Dixie. I looked at Bitcoin and Cardano. What are you seeing? Are you leaning more towards a potential crash to lower levels, or do you think this support we're seeing flash is going to hold up and we'll see at least one more rally to the top before we head back down?
Yeah. So, super, super interesting times right now, Tim. As you know, let me go ahead and share my screen here. Hopefully you guys can see that. Here we are on XRP, which is pulling a pretty massive bearish divergence here on the daily, just to point that out. But for Bitcoin, obviously we are in very interesting times, and I do believe the CPI numbers do come out on the 13th. And, I was doing the morning stream on Ben's channel yesterday, and we were talking about how there's, a lot of people expecting a big volatile move, but nobody could really pick a side to lean on. Now, obviously, we have a lot of macroeconomic things at play here, which is one thing contributing to, the potential volatility we're going to see incoming. But there's also something called the BVOL, which is the Bitcoin Historical Volatility Index. And typically when this reads below, actually, I can pull it up for you guys. Typically when this reads below a 25, it does indicate a lot of volatility incoming into the market. And right now we are at a 23. So we also have some things on the charts showing that some volatility is incoming as well. But again, nobody can really pick a direction, and I can't really hate on them because we do have some mixed signals. I will say, right now I would lean a very, very, very slightly bullish, just for the way that the higher time frames are, just how the higher time frames are looking. As you can see here, if we come over to the weekly time frame, we do have a bullish divergence, which is the first time this has happened in quite some time. And you can see that here. We have lows here, lower lows here, and then we have a low here and a higher low here on your momentum waves. And this is Market Cipher B. You could also do this with the RSI for anybody at home. You don't need Market Cipher B to find these divergences. But typically, this is a bullish divergence, right? And typically, these can give you big moves to the upside. So this is a very bullish sign. Now, not only is this popping up on the weekly, but we also have similar things happening on the higher daily time frames, like the 6-day, the 5-day, the 4-day, and the 3-day. So this is kind of what is making me lean a little bit bullish. And, you know, even if we don't have bullish divergences, we are seeing the momentum come to the upside. You see, we have lows here and higher lows here, showing that momentum is moving to the upside. And we also have money flow rounding off here. So because of this, I am leaning slightly bullish. However, with these things popping up on these higher daily time frames, I mean, this is the time to be neutral if there's ever a time, because obviously these higher time frames do look good, but you can see right now our 2-day and our 3-day are printing red dots, which typically does bring us down a bit. You can see this last red dot brought us down a bit right here. Likely this one will bring us down as well. Now, this is also printing on our 3-day. And then when looking at our 4, 5, and 6-day, although we did get those bullish divergences, you could see this VWAP, this white wave, came up and is turning. It's kind of just skirting right back around and heading back to the downside, likely going to print another red dot here and potentially step on these bullish signals, right? And this is also happening on the 5-day and the 6-day. You could see here again, the VWAP popped up and then just immediately reversed right back to the downside. And it's likely that we'll see something like this happen, where you pop above that 0 line, pop right back below, and then that's kind of where you get a green dot and then an immediate red dot. So everybody's all hyped off this green dot. Things are looking like they're coming to the upside, and then it gets invalidated by a red dot. So, you know, I do think we will see a little bit, you know, that kind of makes things hard to read. However, with the momentum waves still moving to the upside, you could still lean a little bit bullish, but you want to remember with that CPI data, anything can happen. And then just leaning a little bit into the lower time frames, I do just want to point out again, kind of a similar thing happening here on the 4-hour. We are printing that green dot as we come down to key support. Now, this is a big level that I've been waiting for to potentially find some long positions. I am actually already short from up here, been riding this short all the way down, and this was my target that I've been waiting for to potentially find some long positions. And as we approach this level, and we are potentially putting in bullish divergences on the lower time frames, and printing a green dot on Market Cipher B on the 4-hour, we do have a similar thing happening here where the VWAP is coming up and starting to flop over, kind of showing that the bullish momentum may be weak. Now, with that being said, short answer, I will say I have to lean a little bit bullish with the way that the longer time frames are looking. However, with these VWAPs kind of just rolling right over back to the downside, it is really a coin toss at this point. However, like you said, Tim, we are sitting on very, very, very important support. And for me, the key levels of support are the main level of support I am watching is 18,825. This is the value area low of our entire range. And if we break that level, the next level I would be looking down to would be this spider line at about 18,630. So we are at key support. I never like to get overly bearish at support. I don't like to short into support. I'd much rather like the short I'm in right now. I'd much rather see, you know, bearish divergences at key resistance, get into a short there, ride it down, take profit along the way. And then as I get to key support, maybe take some more profits off my short and then reevaluate to potentially get into a long, because if those higher time frames do wind up being as bullish as they look, and it does play out, I do think we could get a pretty big move to the upside. You want to remember these are high time frames. When you have a bullish divergence on the weekly, if that plays out, we could wind up seeing a massive, massive move, potentially getting back up to our range highs up here. You know, this would be in the more bullish case up to about 25K. You know, a weekly bullish divergence could easily bring us up there. And if you want to do some real moon math, I mean, I'm not necessarily calling for this number, but if those higher daily timeframes and that weekly bull div do play out in, you know, a bullish manner like they typically do, maybe this is where we finally get that big run up to that 28 to 30K area that everyone's been talking about. However, I caution everybody because there is a lot of stuff going on. Obviously, we have the CPI data coming out, and we are also in a bear market, right? If you look back to the 2017 bull market, let me pull up the BLX real quick before I kick it back to you. If you come back to the 2017 bull run right here, where we had this massive blow off top, I'm not going to spend a super big amount of time trying to find all these divergences, but I could just see them right here. Let me just grab my pen tool. In a bull market, my point is, in a bear market, the bullish divergences and the bullish signals are not going to play out as well as they do in bull markets. And it's vice versa in a bull market, right? So you could see right here, we had higher highs on your price as you had lower highs on your momentum waves. We took a little bit of a spill, but eventually just continued coming up, right? And then right here, you could see again, we have lower highs on our momentum waves with higher highs on price. We did come down a bit, but we just continued up. So it's the same thing in a bear market. We might see these bullish divergences play out just a little bit, but it doesn't mean we can't continue lower. And if we do, I'm looking at about 12 to 14K as that next stop.
Yeah, great points there. I love that. You know me, I'm a very big believer in divergences. So I love when I find other technical analysts that use divergence. And I think it's really interesting the point you make there about, during a bull market, the bearish RSI divergences, or any bearish divergence, is not going to be as strong as others. It did have a little bit of a play right there. But what I found interesting, and again, we absolutely could go down, but I don't know if you got to hear this argument before. I think you have. I think I made this argument when I was on the Nick Dye show with you. Anyway, so every single major bottom correction on Bitcoin in its entire existence has been met with bullish RSI divergence, except for one opportunity, and that was during the pandemic back in 2020. So I want to ask you, when you're looking at, we got that weekly divergence, we have daily bullish RSI. The last big divergence on the RSI on the daily chart was bullish RSI divergence, strong bullish. Do you think that's going to be strong enough, or do you think at this point, it's not going to really be able to play out? You're not really giving it too much credit yet. Are you waiting for a higher spot to get confidence? What is your point you're looking at to trigger that long you've talked about? Because I know you said you're close, but what do you want to see to trigger that long?
So really, what I look for, I apologize. Okay, there we go. Can you guys see my screen?
Yeah, we see it.
Okay, beautiful. So let me just pull up my other chart here with my levels. So basically, I do think, listen, if that weekly bullish divergence plays out, and again, I do think we're more at the mercy of the macroeconomics more than ever, right? You want to remember, not only are we sitting at key support, being that value area low right here at 18,825, not only is this a key level because it's the value area low of our range, but if you come over to the weekly chart, we are also just, simply sitting on top of, if we come to the BLX, you could just see the purple price line here. We're sitting right on top of those previous all-time highs, which to be honest with you, my original bottom call, was, granted, I'm really not, completely set on trying to call the bottom. I don't think it's as important as people think it is. But my original, prediction for the bottom was mid to low 20s with a possible panic wick down to about 18K. And you can see we are still sitting right on top of these previous all-time highs from 2017. And obviously we've broken the actual all-time high just a little bit, but we're still sitting up here. So this is another reason this makes this key support. However, as far as looking to get into a long, let me come back to my other chart here. This is kind of decision time now. Things are looking a little bit more bearish in the short term, in my opinion. But again, I'm not getting overly bearish at this key level of support. So the main level I am looking at to either flip bullish or remain bearish. Again, going to be heavily dependent on those CPI numbers. Tim, maybe you can correct me if I'm wrong, but I believe they come out on the 13th in just a couple of days.
Yeah, Thursday morning.
Okay, yeah, Thursday. So this is really going to be, in my opinion, the deciding factor whether this thing breaks up or down.
Yeah.
We could try to look at the charts. Again, I would lean a little bit more bullish because of the way the higher time frames look. However, I think a lot of people, I'm a big chart guy, right? A lot of times it's, tell me the news, show me the charts, I'll tell you the news kind of thing. I am a believer in that. However, there is simply just some times where, there's no way you can 100% predict how these numbers are going to come out. So I do think if these numbers come out any less than horrible, I do think that could potentially cause that big swing where we see those higher time frames look or see those higher time frames play out. However, if they come out bad, I'll kind of give you an idea of what I'm looking at. I am going to be looking at this spider line at about 18,650. Every time we've broken this value area low, we've been able to catch support. Even if we lost that spider line, we have been able to hop back above it, and it has saved our butts quite a few times. You could see it right here, perfectly saved us right there. We wicked down to it right there, and then we came back down to it over here. So, I don't really start worrying until we lose that spider line and come back down to these previous lows of 17.6. And this is that 786 fib level. This is an important, very important level of support. If we lose this 17.6 level, this is where I start to expect the lower ranges, coming all the way down to about, between about 12 and 14K. And if for anybody curious where I'm getting that range from, essentially we just have the technical support of that fake out little bull run that we had here, in 2019 up to about 14K. We just have the technical support there. Let me just remove my TA so I can just draw a clean box without getting all my other TA on there. So, that 14K top, we do just have that technical support, on top of these previous highs. So that is the next level I will be looking for. And again, that 786 fib level at about $17,600 is the level. If we lose, that's when I start to expect a quick move down to these levels. And the reason I'm expecting that quick move is not just because I'm, guessing that people are going to panic, even though that will be happening. If you look over at your VPVR, you can see right here, we do have price is sticking right to this high volume node, as you can see. Now, if we lose this level, obviously, lost my pen tool. If we lose this level, you could see this massive volume gap coming down to about 12K, right? So typically with these volume gaps, if you lose that high volume node, you will get quick moves through here, through these low volume gaps, simply because there's no volume and, there's no interest in this level. So there's nothing holding you back or holding you up. So a lot of times if you break that high volume node, you will get those quick moves down. So basically that's another reason why we're sitting at such important support, is because if we lose this level, you're going to fall right into this air gap here, and it's going to be a quick just boom right down. Most likely anything can happen, but with that huge volume gap, it would make for most likely a very quick move down to that 14 to 12K range, which is again just that last area where we have all this technical support. So that's kind of what I'm looking at. Those are the key levels that I am looking at. Those panic levels, if we lose them, that 786 fib level at 17.6 is that last hope for me. Potentially we could double bottom there, but if we don't double bottom there and get a harsh bounce and we lose that level, I would be expecting to fall into that low volume gap down to these lower prices.
Man, that's very good. It's funny, I'm looking at that same gap you're looking on your screen. That's exactly where we were last summer on Bitcoin. Look at the gap above us where we found support right there around the $29,000, $30,000 level. And a lot of people thought we were going to fall into that gap, come down to 20, and we didn't do it. So, still a lot of stuff that can happen there on Bitcoin, but we'll keep you guys posted on this channel, and I know Frankie will on his channel as well. I want to change charts now. Let's go over to Cardano. And the reason I'm asking about Cardano, so we have seen Ethereum have a pump over the last couple of months. We've seen XRP really killing it in the last couple of weeks. We've seen things like Quant. Quant has been up over 90%. Why is Cardano not rallying with all the fundamentals they're working on? And secondly, what are you seeing on your charts? Because when I was looking at it earlier, there are some massive oversold signals flashing on Cardano. The biggest one I even saw, on the 4-hourly chart, and I forgot to mention this when I was doing mine, so I'll mention it here. Did you know that the Cardano 4-hourly RSI just hit 14? It has not been down to 14 since March of 2020. That was during the pandemic. It is ridiculously oversold right now. What are your thoughts about what you're seeing on the Cardano chart?
Yeah, I could pull up an ADA chart right here. 4 hour is, in my opinion, obviously on the RSI as well, but on Market Cypher, you could kind of think of when these momentum waves come all the way down below this -60 line, this white line right here, you could consider that oversold. And Cardano massively oversold on the 4 hour. Something else I want to point out here, let me just hide my TA real quick so I can zoom in. This is not the best chart to look at. There's not a ton of price history here. However, we are also getting the bullish divergences here on Cardano as well with your lower lows and your higher lows on Market Cypher B. Now, your VWAP is coming up towards that 0 line, but you could kind of see, I don't know if it's big enough for anybody to see, it is kind of getting rejected and coming back down here. But, this is what I would be watching for a potential big move out of Cardano. Would be me personally. Obviously, I do use Market Cypher and Lux Algo a lot, but Market Cypher, this VWAP on the weekly would be one of those things I am watching very closely, because once this comes up, I wouldn't actually even hate if we came down a tiny bit more, as long as this momentum wave can stay higher than this momentum wave. We could get this VWAP to cross up, print a green dot, put that bullish divergence in, and then this is where we could start to see some fireworks for Cardano, because like you said, I mean, that 4 hour is extremely oversold. But again, talking about that VWAP, this doesn't look the worst, but I like to see these VWAPs come straight up, and it does look like it wants to roll over. But yeah, absolutely, completely oversold on that 4 hour. And then that weekly bullish divergence, even if we come to these higher daily time frames, these are putting in these bullish divergences similar to Bitcoin as well. So again, I do think we are at the mercy of these CPI numbers. If these CPI numbers come back, again, anything less than bad, I do think we could potentially see some relief here, because, even on Bitcoin, obviously on Cardano, on everything else, we've kind of just had these, I'll just flip on Bitcoin real quick, just to we just had these big moves down, and then we consolidate, and then we get another big move down, consolidate. We never really had, you could consider this a little bit of relief, but no true relief rallies. In 2017 and in the 2018 bear market, we were seeing relief rallies of over 100%, and we just really haven't gotten too many of those in this bear market. So, I do think if those CPI numbers come out a little better than expected, for Cardano and Bitcoin and most of these other coins, I do think that's where we could see these higher timeframes potentially prevail and give us those big moves up. But yeah, Cardano super oversold on that 4 hour, and I would watch those bullish divergences on those higher daily timeframes as well.
Yeah, very, very good stuff. Well, Frankie, before we let you go, is there anything else? What are you most excited about right now? Like, what is your favorite coin that you're looking at to trade right now that you could share with the Coffee and Crypto community?
Yeah, sure. So I actually have one. I'll show you guys this. I always say I'm always like, I'll give a freebie on YouTube. But I do it in my Discord, but my Discord's free too. But I will show this. We were talking about this yesterday. This is XRP is actually looking pretty juicy in my opinion. We've been talking about this for a couple of days. Let me bring up my TA here. Boom, right? So coming over to our daily time frame, you can see, we are putting in some nasty bear divs here on the daily. You can see your high, your higher highs, and your high and your lower high. And now not only do you have this bearish divergence forming on the daily, but you do have a decent bit of confluence kind of pointing to the downside here, at least in the short to medium term for XRP. You have that daily bearish divergence. But not only that, if you come over to your 4 hour, we actually did just get a money flow crossover into the red, which is typically a pretty bearish sign. You could see the last time we did get that money flow crossover into the red, we did come down a bit here. Now we are already on our way down. However, we just got that money flow crossover. So I do think we could potentially come down a bit more. Coming on down to the 2 hour, money flow back in the red. So looking a little bit more bearish in my opinion. And then you also have the bearish divergence on the 4 hour here, right? So, a bear divs all over. You have this massive bear div. You have more of a local bear div right here with these highs and these highs. And then you have a bigger bear div between this high, this lower high, and then these highs, and then these highs, right? So bear divs kind of popping up all over the place. And then that money flow crossover into into the red on the 4-hour is a pretty bearish sign. Now, I'm not saying completely FOMO into a short on XRP, although it does look good to start looking for shorts, or I guess, you know, the best entry would have been at the top of this 4-hour bear div. But, you know, I'm not saying FOMO into shorts because that 4-hour does look like it's about to kind of just, you know, roll up to the upside, but a short term, right? This VWAP I explain as ebbs and flows of the market. So I do think we could potentially continue down here, but just with the way this 4-hour VWAP is looking, it is potential to get maybe a short-term retest into these levels before actually coming down for a bigger move lower. And then some levels I would look for if you were looking to get into a short on a potential retest of resistance. You know, some levels to the downside I would be looking at would be this level right here at about 0.453 cents. And then, you know, you do have another high volume node at about 44 cents. But ultimately, I would be looking to hopefully make it down to this value area low at about 42 cents. And then I know you guys probably see it, but you do have a decent gap right here. So, you know, if you lose these levels at about, you know, 46.8 cents or 0.468 cents, could be a quick move down to that 45-cent level. So, yeah, that's some stuff I'm looking at. You know, potentially, again, probably going to get some retests into resistance here, but might be a good time to start looking for some shorts on XRP because that daily bear div could wind up being pretty ugly. And if those CPI numbers come out worse than expected, might be nice to get on the train now.
Yeah, I actually,
I'm financial advice.
I'm completely in agreement with you on that one again, and it's actually a long-term bullish move because those levels you're looking at when zoomed out, that's former resistance for a while for XRP, and there's something super special. Have you ever seen a running back when you don't see this often, but it would be super disrespectful when a running back has a clear end path to the end zone and turns just to run smack into the face of the safety just to disrespect him. This is like XRP's rallying, and it's going to come back to former resistance, smack it in the face to say, you know, booyah, and then it's going to continue to the upside. But I love it. That 44, 42 cent region, that is former resistance, and now can have a great opportunity to turn it into support that allows XRP to be bullish long term. Frankie,
absolutely. Thank
you so much, man, for coming on the show, and I look forward to having you on here again real soon. And I know here in the next couple of weeks I'll be able to come on your channel soon, so it's going to be fun, man. Thanks for being here.
Yeah, man. I appreciate you guys for having me on. Like I said, you know, I love coming on this show. You guys are awesome. And yeah, hope to get you on my show soon too, man. Thanks again for having me on.
All right, dude. Take care.
You too, brother.
Good stuff. I always love getting Frankie's take. And so it turns out, you know, I was sitting here saying, we're gonna have some disagreement. Him and I are pretty aligned. Our TA was not far off. The levels are pretty similar. I think he has a little more hesitancy, which I have some hesitancy. I think there's a chance that both Bitcoin and Cardano could continue to go to the downside. But even though the fact that he said I'm leaning more bullish, I think I'm maybe a little bit more bullish than him at this point about the short-term aspect of those two coins. But even down to what coin would you short right now, which I didn't ask him that question. I asked him what trade opportunity. I love that he went for XRP. And it doesn't mean I don't like XRP. I think it would be very, very bullish long-term for XRP to come back down to that 44 cent, maybe 42 cent level, smack that former resistance, turn into support, and then head back up to the upside. That would make a whole lot of sense from a technical standpoint on the price action. But we're about to transition and do some community engagement. We got some chat. I know I saw a couple super chats. I know we've been looking at some of the things. If you guys want to ask some questions, this is your time to do it. But we want to prep because there's a game being played today. Smay, do you want to tell them what game we're playing today?
I'm just off my rockers today. Boy, would I love to explain to you guys what today's game is. And last time I made the very bad mistake of trying to go from my brain to explain to you the game. And unfortunately, that led to very unclear instructions. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to read the excerpt that I have written about this game so it's a little bit more clear. So today we're going to be playing Over Under. Over Under is a game that involves guessing where a series of coins' prices will be by the end of the show. At the beginning of this segment, T-Shroom, Smay, and Tim are presented with 3 coins to predict. Then the chat, we'll all together come up with the starting price, and then pretty much from there, we'll each guess our over and unders on that price, of that coin's price, and the person who gets 2 out of 3 wins. So, and last time we played this, Tim won. Woo!
Hey.
So, Tim, would you like to show our audience today what the coins are that you've chosen?
Yeah, so we're going to be doing Cardano, XRP, and Algo. So here's the current price action at the moment on Cardano. Cardano is sitting at 39 39.75 T-Shroom, over or under?
I am going to say under.
I'll say over. So 39.75 is our deciding point. 39.75 for Cardano. Let us know in chat. By the end of the show, we'll call this at about 11:28 is when we'll announce the winners. Gives us time to, so who's the winner, wrap up the show, and we will be good. The next one that we have here, XRP, currently sitting at 49.5, what is it, 0.55 cents. T-Shroom, over or under?
I think the trend's your friend. I'm going to take the over.
Yeah, I think I'm going to go over as well. Short time frame on this one. Let's go a little higher here. Let's go all the way to 50 cents. Oh, by the way, it just jumped. There we go. That's nice. 50 cents. Over or under?
What's the time frame? How long?
We got about 24 minutes.
Under.
Under on 50 cents?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think I'm under on that one as well. Let's go 49.7. 49.7.
Under.
I'll go over. I'll go over 49.7. So that we're flipped on that one. Oh, no. I'm over on both of them from now on. Mm-hmm. All right, last one we got here, Algo.
Ooh.
Algo is currently sitting at 31.89 cents.
I'll take over.
You'll take over. I'll take over as well. Let's go all the way to 32 cents.
I'll take over.
Ooh, 32.
Mm-hmm.
Ooh.
Dun,
I'm very close. Let's go to 32.2.
32.2. I'll take over.
All right, I'll take under on 32.2.
Okay, so here's the unfortunate thing, Tim. You didn't ask me.
Well,
and I'm supposed to be
the
participating.
decider was me and T-Shroom, and now Smay, you get to ride the piggyback. So we'll get to read these again now. Over, under, Smay, and audience. Cardano, 39.75 cents. Are you over or under, Smay?
Under.
You're under. You are with T-Shroom on the under. XRP, 49.7 cents. Over or under? You're under. So you're with T-Shroom on that one as well. So you're finding your boat with the T-Shroom. Last one, I'll go at 32.2 cents. Over or under?
Under.
All right, so you're with me on this one. So it's a very similar trend to what we had last week. We will see. You technically, because you aren't identically matched with T-Shroom on this, you could win this week.
I could win this week.
So make sure you guys stay tuned for the end of the show when we announce who wins that. But with that said, Smay, why don't we read some of those super chats?
Well, boy, Tim, I would love to do that. All right, so here we go. We have our first super chat from Tony D. Says, shout out to Frankie Candles and Tim as well.
Yeah, Tony D, by the way, phenomenal. He's one of the mods. He's working with Frankie. I get to talk with him from time to time. Great guy. Shout out to Tony D. I love him.
Shout out to Tony D. Yeah, Tony D. Yeah,
Tony. He's probably left-handed, right?
Yeah, shout out to Tony D. Eh?
Potentially.
Next we have another one from Tony D. Says, everyone smash that like button.
Do it. Smash it. We got. We had 700 people here watching, 258 likes. I know we can get more likes. We currently have like 630 people watching. I know some people dip during the community section, and that is okay. The whole point of this section is we want to engage with you guys, have fun, express our personalities, because crypto, as serious as it be, we want to keep this very uplifting and fun space. That's why we incorporate some of this stuff.
Basically, what Tim's saying is the cool people are the ones.
Yeah,
that
cool people
around.
stay, and good people.
What?
Good. You can still be a good person and
Stick
leave.
around.
Hold on, Tim. We don't play participation trophies. Our favorites are the ones that stick around.
It's true.
You guys that are still watching this video are
the MVPs. They're the MVPs.
Yeah,
they're more valuable.
I like what Shane Kerr just said. Break the like button.
Break it.
I would love to see that happen.
Well, then what happens if they? Well, you remember when it happened once? Remember when?
Yeah, I remember that.
That was crazy.
Yeah, YouTube broke.
That was crazy. We had like
crazy.
what 2,000 likes and like maybe like 800.
Yeah, it
views.
was like 2,000 likes and like only like 800 concurrent.
Yeah, it's crazy. But anyways, all right, now let's jump into the next one.
It's like reverse PayPal.
All right, so I don't want you to cut me off when I'm reading the next super chat. T-Shroom, thank you. We're going to talk about that after the show. Next here we have from Elliot Locke. CC.
You said you didn't want me to cut you off?
So, T-Shroom, that's strike 2. And if you do it again, you're not going to like what happens next.
Uh-oh.
All right?
I'm definitely not doing it now.
All right. So, CNC Gang and this is from Elliot Locke. CNC Gang and Candle Mafia bonding in chat. Welcome.
Yes.
All right.
I think there's a good amount of crossover. I think a large amount of people who are Coffee and Crypto fans are also Frankie Candle fans, and vice versa. Frankie is a great guy. I feel like Frankie and I are very similar people. Our personalities, the way we break down technical analysis. We use different formats, but it's funny. We use different technical analysis and come to almost the exact same conclusion. So it's pretty crazy how good TA is out there. So bada boom.
Why are you beating on your table?
Okay.
Tim, I'm just saying from an audio perspective, because I'm running the show.
I'm getting some bullying vibes from you.
That is not
morning.
bullying. I am the technical director of the show.
It just seems like you want to be out here going after people.
My job, the reason I've been hired is to make sure the production of the show is good. And you started being on your table, and it made unpleasant sounds to my ears.
All right, I will not bang on the table again.
Okay, thank you. I was just... Oh, my gosh,
Whoa.
Tim. Is there an earthquake?
All right, let's go. Let's keep
I thought
moving.
we were in Florida. There's no earthquakes in Florida.
Let's keep building it up.
Next, we have another one, and I'm going to make sure I take extra long reading. No, I'm kidding. We have here from Matt C. It says, "It's always great to welcome on folks from other channels. We are so grateful you joined us today. Hope to have you back every day."
Awesome.
I assume he's talking to Candle Mafia.
Yeah.
That came in. Yay, we are so glad you guys are here. Consider smashing that subscribe button for daily content. That's the other cool thing is you can catch Coffee and Crypto in the morning, get your coffee, go late at night after a hard day's work, catch you some Frankie Candles in the evening. I believe he goes live at 5:45 most times. Every now and then something conflicts and he has to go a little bit later, but phenomenal show over there. He just goes deep. He goes deep into the charts, and it's good stuff.
So, Tim, you want to go over just really quickly the results of our previous poll of the right-handedness? Because I'm pretty sure it is corollary to the actual science of it. And
So,
it's
yeah,
77%.
Let's do it. I don't have the results of that poll.
Oh, I have the results.
You have the results? Oh,
Yeah.
they just popped up.
Yeah, so 77% of you guys are right-handed, 18% are left-handed, and 8% are both. So what I find actually really fascinating about that is I'm pretty sure if we were to look it up, that is the national average.
I would say that probably is a very good representation of not even just, I think that's probably the world average, honestly.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
You know what's crazy is both my parents are left-handed, and literally all 5 children that they had, there's 5 of us Warren children, 1 girl, 4 boys, we are all right-handed. They didn't get a single lefty, even though both of them were lefties.
So studies, according to Wikipedia, studies suggest that approximately 80% of people are right-handed.
Woo!
80%?
Ours is
I'm sorry,
77.
I said 90.
Oh, I
90.
thought you said 80.
Did I say 80?
Yeah, you said 80.
Lemon, melon.
come on.
So I guess one could say that lefties have a higher probability of being crypto enthusiasts than righties because the percentage is a little higher.
You could potentially
possible.
say that. That is, in fact, potentially something you could say. And you know what, though, Tim? I'm going to take this just a little bit step further.
Yeah.
I think there's actually psychology behind that because I think people who are into crypto are the kind of people that are counter trend of the rest of the world. So similar to how left-handed people are kind of counter trend to the rest of the world, I think left-handed people are more likely to be attracted to something like crypto because it's kind of a niche thing at the moment.
And I better not see any comments saying that that left-handers are smarter because there is no correlation between IQ and handedness.
That's
So
exactly right. So you guys, you silly gooses.
If I see anybody say that in the chat, we're gonna fine you $2,500
like PayPal
for misinformation.
Well, speaking of misinformation, so I put a poll in chat that said, who is the bully, Tim or Smay? And unfortunately, misinformation-wise, you guys voted it's 53% Smay. So I don't know what that's all about. You guys are bullying me.
I feel like I have been extremely kind to you, Smay, not only in today's show, but more recently.
I got to be honest with you, Tim. Oh, it just jumped to 56. Right when I said that, it jumped to 56%.
I mean, even the way you're expressing this poll is a form of bullying,
Tim,
I would
it
say.
is not
The
a
pressure
Tim.
you're putting in.
Guys, someone, please vote for Tim on the poll. I'm not the bully here. I promise.
Goodness gracious. All right. Well, hey, let's do this. If there's do we have any normal chat we want to answer? Otherwise, we can do some 2-minute technicals from chat for some coin suggestions they would love to see some analysis on.
I do not have anything in a document suggesting regular chat. So what I think would be the best is for everyone to start spamming the chat with coins you want to see in the 2-minute technicals.
Yes, and there's a couple out there that are kind of interesting, but I would love to help you guys. Earlier I did quant, so anyone who wanted some technical analysis on quant, you can go back and look at that very quickly. Spoiler, it's not probably what you wanted it to be. There is more bearish narratives going on the quant charts than there are on others, but I think, based off of what we see Quant doing, I think that it's more of a retracement at this point to then find some support and head back up to the upside. Bubbles Crypto 30 said, Team Tim, do you feel safe at work, Tim? That's good. Thank you for checking up.
There's a lot of reasons why I don't, but sorry, it was for you, Tim.
The good news is there's a very, very big desk, two big desks between me and Smay.
Yeah.
He did one time while I was doing my work, climb under the desk to grab my leg, and that terrified me. So I hope that never happens again.
That was a good one. Guys, in case you guys were wondering, I'm going to do a two-minute technical on mine and Tim's relationship, okay? And it looks something like this.
Whoa.
Right?
Oh, man.
Here's the deal.
A lot of bearish divergence.
Hold on, Deidre. What I'm saying is we get along just fine, all right? So next time you guys are concerned for Tim's well-being, just think again, because we get along real fine, and I take care of him, So
when you say take care of me, does that mean like you hurt me?
No. No, I mean, I give you soup when you're sick, and I tuck you in at night.
When have you ever given me soup when I'm sick?
I tuck you in at night. I'll sometimes take you to your soccer game and stuff like that.
Okay, all right. Now we're just spreading lies, and PayPal's gonna find you $2,500 for that. So
no.
We're gonna move on. We got a lot of people saying Adam in chat. Let's go look at the Adam chart. First thing I'm noticing right here, I'm on the 4-hourly. Let's start here. I might explore out to the daily chart. We're low on the RSI, and we're dabbling with what we would call weak bearish RSI divergence. What I mean by that is the price action is going to the upside. What? Oh, I just unfroze all my stuff. Hitting a support level as well. The RSI, or the price action bottoms, are moving to the upside. We have a couple green candles in there, so that is enough for me to say, all right, let's go ahead and touch those points. In the same timeline, the RSI is looking like it's about flat. So this is a divergence, but again, this is what we call weak bearish or bullish RSI divergence. And of course, you can kind of use by the name and say that's not as good as strong bullish RSI divergence. If this RSI, if these levels were down, so the bottoms were falling while the price is rising, that is strong bullish RSI divergence. It talks about in this case, it actually wouldn't even be strong. I'm actually going to correct myself. This is a continuation pattern. This would be that the trend that technically as the price continues to move, and this is a higher bottom, the trend could continue. And so that is a different form. Strong bullish and weak bullish are pattern reversal RSIs. This is something we talk about over in Club DeFi, and I talk about with my the guys that come in and join, the guys and girls that join me for office hours. But continuation RSI divergences, that's what we're seeing right here with the RSI flat, but the bottoms are getting a little higher. We will see how much we can bounce off of that. Looking at some other things here on the 4-hourly chart, I got my Lux oscillator up, and it is low and it is red. It is not necessarily screaming over sold. We have no green cloud here at the top like you see back here, and even though we kept going down a little bit, there was a trigger right there for us to start going to the upside. Let me see what Lux Algo, the contrarian signal, is flashing here on the 4-hourly chart. We did just have a buy signal, so that is a good sign, as well as you guys see this reversal green cloud right here. We bounced and touched off of that kind of nicely. So this is one right now. I am not as bullish necessarily over the next couple of hours as I am potentially on Cardano, but I do think Adam is sitting more on the side of saying there's a potential next couple of hours, a trade opportunity for bullish action more so than bearish. Let's look at a little larger of a time frame though on Adam, and I can go ahead and get rid of these again. Okay, so the last time I did Adam, we were talking about bullish RSI divergence on the daily chart. We are a little more overextended to the downside on the oscillator out on the daily chart. No red cloud up here. Let's see what the Lux Algo signal is calling. We had a buy flash right here. So there's actually, I take back. I actually think that there's a very good case for Adam to have some bullish narrative here. Coming back to this former resistance, similar to what we talked about with XRP, could Adam be finding and using this former resistance as support? This would be a very good sign with take profit levels sitting as high as $18 over on Adam. That would be a very big upswing. Let me look. The last one I'll look at, we weren't looking at the other ones earlier. Okay, I just lost my mouse. There we go. Let me take down these. I want to look at the volume, the fixed range volume profile. Let's see what it is telling us. And I want to go back to look at the last couple of quarters. So I'm going to go all the way. I'm on the daily chart. I'm going to go all the way back to April 1st, and we're going to look at quarter 2 and 3, and then the first couple days of quarter 4, see what we got. The most important level, this is good in a way that we're above this. There is a chance if bears start to come in and push pressure, the fact that we are above this key level in the last couple of quarters could potentially bring that price down. But this is still technically former resistance. See this touch we had back here? We had this resistance levels right in here. This would still count as turning resistance into support. Of course, though, that is not what people would want. People don't want to see the price go down if they're going to enter along. They want to see it go up. But I am going to keep my eye on if we start to see the price fall. $10.90 is looking like a spot that we could come down. But if we move to the upside, right above us, there is resistance that we use here just a little bit ago at 13.18. Then there's a little bit of valley. We come back up all the way to 14.22. The last stop before we probably could jump up to those $18 levels is about $15.80. So watch to see on the smaller time frames and even this daily chart, we are seeing some bullish momentum. Volume is tapering off, so let's watch what happens right there. Can we get more volume to come to space to confirm to the upside? There is a small chance. But I'm going to just go on a limit. I'm not as bullish necessarily on Atom over the next couple of days as I am on Cardano. But that does not mean that it's not a good opportunity moving forward. And again, here on Thursday morning when we get those CPI numbers, I have this feeling the way the narrative is going and what we're seeing on the charts, I actually think those CPI numbers are going to be in a place where not necessarily overly bullish in sense of like they're ridiculously low, but they're not going to be crazy high enough for a lot of the negativity on Bitcoin and other coins that have come down in the last couple of days. I think it's not going to be enough to say that we need to keep going down lower. I think the price for anything terrible has been baked in, and there's more of a chance for upside movement than there is for downside movement. But that is my take on Atom. Again, watch potentially the most bullish rally up to $18 before we got to make a decision. And then if the bears get control, about down to $10.90, around $11 is where I'm going to be keeping my eye there. You can go off my screen now, Smay, and we can go look. Were there any other coins you saw a lot of people asking for?
I don't know if it's a shill or not, but I've seen a lot of calf. But I'm going to say Coty. Have you done Coty?
Coty. I haven't done Coty in a while. I can do that. We did have a super chat that just came in. You want to read that one, Smay?
I would love to. Here we have one from Biomex. Says, Danger Close Alpha Fam, Debate Crypto, 7:30 p.m. Eastern. It's a good show. I like that. Yeah. I like Debate Crypto.
So we want to go do some Coty. Let's see here. I have not done Coty. If I have done it, it's been a long time since I did Coty technical analysis. Let me see. I can just scroll back and use the chart. Yeah, I don't think I've ever done Coty. Coty is the one working with this new stablecoin Jebb. So it is not necessarily making any explosive movements, but that could be a sign of some good things to come. I'm starting out here on the daily chart. Let's look at what the oscillators are telling me first and foremost. That is not necessarily what you want to see. In fact, this on the daily chart is kind of more saying that there is the last one we had. It's not. That's kind of like weak bearish R-side divergence here. But when I'm looking at these oscillators, it is leaning more towards being overbought than it is oversold. You don't want to see that. Let's see what Lux is saying when it makes its call. Look at that call on the oscillator. On Lux Algo Contrarian. It pinpointed the top and said that's a strong sell, and it's saying take profit all the way down. I think that's a little egregious to go all the way down to 4 cents. I think that's a little far. Watch for more than likely the support around 8 cents to hold up. But as it stands, we just had that. We had an X that came in here. Let me go down to some smaller time frames and see what, and then we're going to look at the volume profile. On the smaller time frames, we did have a buy signal that could send us potentially back up towards 12 cents, but we did come down and hit the take. We did come down here and take the stop loss level. So let's keep our eyes on what's happening there. Now we're starting to get on the lower time frames on 4-hourly chart. We are looking like we are oversold. Again, I like to see when we're oversold, or at least in the middle on the larger time frames, and then go down to the smaller time frames to say, all right, are we oversold down there? We are on the hourly chart. Let's see how far down we go. All right, so we're oversold in the hourly chart, but we are not oversold on the 30-minute chart. So there's potentially some sideways action here for a little bit of time before we have to make a decision. But I would almost say on this one, it's looking like short term, like meaning the next couple of hours, you actually could make a good chance that we move back to the upside. But when we're looking at the daily chart, meaning potentially the next couple of weeks, there's potential downside left to be played in Coty. But I would love to be wrong about that. Again, Coty is not a very large one at this point. There's not a whole heck of a lot of volume, so there could just be news that gets pumped in, or continued updates in the fundamentals that end up pushing the price higher. But if nothing changes at this moment, I think the next couple of weeks could be more of a downside move for Coty, more so than an upside. But let's look. The last one I will look at. Let's go look at our fixed range. I'm going to go back to April once again, look at the past 2 quarters. Where do we go? Right here. All right there, April 1st. So the majority, we're above where we've traded at the most down here at about 9 cents. And the fact that we're above it and heading back down towards, Yeah, this is something keep your eyes on. We don't have to come back and touch this. And, of course, Cody has been more in the news recently, especially with the release of Jebb, or some people just say it's Jedd, the D is silent. When I was at the conference in Austin, everyone was saying Jedd, so that's why I call it that. But for anyone who wants to correct me and say it's pronounced Jedd, I'll call it Jedd. I'm not, again, Cody, I'm not necessarily looking at the charts and overly bullish, but again, this is because it's a smaller coin, because it's newer, because there are a lot of fundamentals coming out and upgrading. I wouldn't just go off of this. I would make sure I pay attention to what's happening in the news, what's happening in fundamental updates, and make my call based off of that.
Oh, well, interesting, Tim. I have an interesting note for you. That note is that it is pronounced Jedd, and the other note is that there's another super chat. So hashtag Candle Mafia and lefties represent, great show, and that's from Biomex as well. So shout out to Biomex and the Candle Mafia. And also another note I found is that it turns out calf is actually an inside joke on the Candle Mafia show. They talk. I remember them talking about it in the Hit Network. They talked about how Frankie doesn't skip calf day. He doesn't skip leg day. And I saw he's got some good calves. I'll say T-Shroom has good calves.
I'll give him a run for money. I got some honking calves as well. Now I'm a way bigger guy than Frankie.
Come here, T-Shroom. Show us your calves.
Yeah, that is just weird.
No, T-Shroom has the best calves for sure.
Yeah, maybe when I do my show with Frankie, I'll whip out my calves for him. It is definitely probably my best.
Don't shame me for saying T-Shroom show you calves, and then you just say, yeah, but I'm going to go on Frankie's show.
When did I shame you for that?
Well, you said that's weird.
I think you're getting back into some bullying. I never said that. I did not say that was weird. I think you're hearing
Guys,
things.
chat.
I think that Smay wants me to be a bully. I think inwardly he is how is discipline going in your life, Smay? Are you craving discipline or something?
It's all part of my master plan.
Yeah,
I'm going to gaslight Tim into accidentally bullying me and then change the way. Oh my gosh, look! The pool flipped! It worked! It went now 50-50, but now it says Tim. So it worked.
You're watching Coffee and Crypto. We're fired up.
So, Tim, how do you feel that my master plan played off?
Listen,
look, now it's 51% Tim. Boom.
Yeah, I think that if we were to do a deep analysis into the people voting, people smashing Tim as a bully more than likely are bullies of their own, and they are just going to side with the real bully, and that is Smay.
Did you just call our audience bullies?
To be fair, only the ones that vote.
That sounds like something a bully would say.
How many votes have there been so far?
Now it's back down to 50-50. I shouldn't have said that. Let's see here. We have 122 votes.
Listen, Smay, I have been nothing but good to you. I hired you on false pretense and definitely could have fired you by this point.
That's true.
And have chosen to keep you on.
Well, to be fair,
and someday I might pay you, Smay. If you keep it up, you could get a paycheck here very soon.
That would be awesome for Smay.
Well, what do you mean keep it up? Don't you see? I need to cut it out, and
that's
then you'll give me
that is true. Cut it out.
Yeah,
right.
I have been.
You
working
don't stop the
volunteer
bullying.
work. But here's the thing, Tim. You used the word hire. It was more like you captured me, and you've put me to work. And
I'm interested. How did I cap this? This one's getting away from us, but I'm curious.
You captured my imagination and my heart, and I came
escape.
Because how is that bullying? If I capture it, that sounds like a positive thing. How is that bullying?
Because I'm in agony every day that I'm not at work with you, and that's bullying.
I don't think this is out of proportion enough.
I feel like this is like literally like a deleted scene from the Star Wars prequels. And every moment, Tim, I'm in agony, thinking about working for you. How do you react to that, Tim?
I don't even know what to do with that, honestly. Honestly, I have no idea.
It's all part of the bit, you know.
Oh my gosh! Oh, thank you everybody who's staying here. 52% me still.
Yeah, just flipped even higher. Let's go.
Goodness gracious!
Let's go. All right.
I can't believe this.
T-Shroom, what do you
I have
think?
such passionate opinions
T-Shroom,
about this subject.
Are you a fence sitter, or who do you think is the bully in this?
I think you guys might be underestimating my bullying ability.
Yeah, is T-Shroom the secret
Camera got
bully?
blurry.
He's the secret bully, pulling all the strings.
Yeah.
He knows he can just mess with
I'm
us
the
to get it to
bully.
come out of our mouths.
He's the
ultimate
sleeper bully. All right. Well, here's let's read some regular chats here. Here's one that says, Smay goes in the cage like Frankie and BitBoy. I don't know. Is that a bit they have as well? I don't know.
I have no idea.
I don't want to
Sounds
play with that one.
Sounds like some Stockholm syndrome going on. LOL. Tim's calves captivates him, Shane Hansen says. I wouldn't
Captivates.
say that. Wouldn't say that. But all right, let's see. You want to announce the winner of the over-under game?
Yeah, it's a little early. We can, as we dabble through this. Reminder.
We'll get an extra minute to gloat.
Reminder. Here's what we're looking at. Cardano, the point was 39.75. I had the over. You two had the under. XRP, 49.7 cents. Again, I had the over. You guys had the under. Algo, we put 32.2. T-Shroom had the over, but Smay and I had the under. Let's go ahead. It is 11:28. Let's go look at these coins. So Cardano coming in at 39.77. That is a Tim win and a loss for these two. XRP sitting at 49.590. So here we go. We have a tied. T-Shroom and Smay get the win.
All right. So here's the thing. If it's under on this next coin, I win.
That's true.
We both win, right?
Well, you would tie me.
No, that's where me and you split. T-Shroom.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, Smay, you have 2 wins on this.
Yeah.
No, you have one. You didn't win the first one.
But if I win this next one, I win.
You tie.
No. Oh, yeah.
Wow. Algo came in at 32.0. I had the under, and so did you, Smay. So Smay and I tie for the win.
Wow.
Let's go! Woo!
I feel bullied.
And you know what?
It's
Actually,
the tag team bullying.
is
what
that
one
not
was.
a little poetic? Like I feel like that's kind of poetic for the nonsense
Poetic might
that we
be
just
strong,
got to.
Strong word.
It's not. It's
I see
the
where you're
perfect
coming from.
ending.
All right,
It's
so
the perfect ending.
so far, we're about to wrap up this show. So far in the games, when it comes to knowing the fundamentals and details of creation of coins, T-Shroom reigns champion. He has won 2 of these. But when it comes to looking at price action and doing some technical analysis, I have won 2 of them. Smay has a tie with me for one of those. It is very interesting. We're starting to notice some patterns here of our strengths as analysts here.
When it comes to
I'm
reading
telling
the
you right
market
now,
pulse.
I will win one of those Name That Coin events here very soon.
You will.
I'm
I'm
determined.
gonna make it real easy for you next time.
Guys, that is all we have for you in this show. A couple of announcements, though. I am not going to be here tomorrow. It is my C12 meeting, the second Wednesday of every single month. I am out. But look forward to T-Shroom hosting, Smay being the bully, and Caleb Franzen joining the show to give you guys a potential. This will be the last show before the CPI numbers come out, and you don't want to miss it because a lot of things could happen Thursday morning after we get those numbers. You don't want to miss preparing for it tomorrow. Smay, anything you need to announce before we go out?
The last announcement is I'm getting a haircut tonight, and I shaved my face and I have these glasses. I just realized I feel like I'm gonna kind of look like Caleb Franzen with Caleb Franzen on.
Wow.
We'll create you a fake cubicle white
That's what I was
room.
gonna say. Should I get
It'll
a
be
green
good.
screen and be in a cube and then just not even tell him? Well, I'm sure he's in the chat now. So shout out to you, Caleb. I told you were my favorite crypto analyst, and I gotta look like my favorite crypto analyst. So.
Historically, I will leave people with good news. Historically, C12 meetings have brought bullish price action.
That's true.
So my missing is your guys' gain. We'll see. Guys, that's all we have for you in this show. Make sure if you have not already, smash that like button, subscribe to the channel, and hit that notification bell for more notifications on getting every piece of content we put out there. Again, if you guys want to see crypto succeed, I suggest this for not only our channel, but everyone. Like every video you can, comment on every video you can, subscribe to every channel you can, because we need to stand together, all of us influencers, to tell YouTube and the rest of the space out there, crypto is not going anywhere. If you believe in the future of crypto, make sure you go and apply all of those things. We love each and every single last one of you. Smay, you can go ahead and roll the outro.